In this video I want to show you the Encore E4 actually working. I have it plugged into my UPS, or my power supply I should say, on the left here. I have 12 volts coming out of it, and I like to test a lot of the stuff on the bench because you want to make sure that things are working, at least for the power and things like that, or the basic stuff, because some of this is not going to work since a lot of the wires are not plugged in. But I want to kind of go over the system a little bit just to show you. So here's the actual remote. That's what it looks like. Let's see if I can get a closer shot of it without the glare. Anyways, I have it plugged in, so I'm going to turn it on or lock it, because you can see that nothing's happening here. So I'm going to go ahead and excuse me. And as you can see, it is on. So if I touch the sensor, and that's what I get on the remote, or that's what it sounds like. So that works. It is unlocked, or technically it would be unlocked. I mean, I still got the shock sensor icon flashing on there. I apologize if you can't see it too well, but there you go. And I'm going to test the pager now. So we're going to hit it with a car unlock. That's what it sounds like. So I get about 6 rings, and that's about it. So let me lock it again. Just let me do a light tap. That was just the green light, so you get that beat. So that's the first stage, and then the second stage would be, no, not that one, when I hit it that way. So that's the full alarm going off, and then you can see it. Obviously I don't have the siren here because I don't want to make all that noise. So it seems to work. This is obviously pretty sensitive, but until it's on the car, that's where you want to get it tuned correctly. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I kind of went ahead and cable tie all my wires, but I wanted to show you this part right here. Even though the brain is small, when you have wires coming out of this side on here, let me see if I can show you that better. So you have wires coming out of this side, wires coming out of that side, and then when it doesn't matter which way you put it, this way or this way, you're still going to have all this mess of wires. The reason I'm doing this on the bench is because I kind of want to get an idea of how this is going to fit anywhere, or where I wanted to put it. Well, anywhere really, because you have all these wires bunched up together. And you want to do this on the bench because this is where you want to do most of that work. You don't want to be doing it under the car, because it'll make it easier. And you know, just double check all the wires to make sure you get the correct wires, because if you don't, then you have to undo this and do it again. But that's why you want to double check and do that. So it's still pretty bulky, as you can see. I mean, it's not gonna, I'm not gonna lie. The other tip I guess I can give you is for the LED and for the switch, make sure you leave those away from everything else. The reason being is that you're gonna have to put this through a hole and then connect it. If you forget to do that and put it here like I did at first, you can't do that. So you're gonna either have to cut it and solder these two again or put a connector or whatever. And this time I remembered to take them out, so I did, and that way I can unplug it. When I put this in, I can plug it all through the hole and then do this, because I still gotta undo this part, but I'm just trying to keep it all neat right now. Same for the switch, where you're gonna put it. The switch cord, it's pretty long, which is nice because you can put that switch, I don't know, almost anywhere you want to. Obviously this one you're just gonna need some double-sided tape or some large cable tie to mount it, you know, just like any other sensor. It seems very sensitive, so you definitely want to make sure you set that up before installing the siren and or horn. Don't install those until you check your alarm, like I'm doing here, but in the car, so that way you can make sure that it's sensitive enough but not too sensitive where you're gonna get false alarms. That's very important. The other thing I forgot to mention on this alarm is that it didn't include a pin switch, or for, you know, that trunk or front, or what do you call it, front trunk, like some cars have, or just your hood pin switch or whatever. So I don't know if that was missing or not, but this one didn't include that. Then you have your antenna, this other antenna wire here. One thing I will suggest with the antennas, when you put it up on the windshield, make sure if you have slack, do not tie it like that anywhere. Use the whole antenna, open it up, and even if you have to go across the windshield and then back to make sure it's completely expanded, make sure you do that for this wire, and in order for you to get the best range. That's one of the things I've been finding out with my other alarms. I had to redo that because I knew I had it I had tied the excess like that, and my range wasn't that great. I thought that would fix some other problem that the alarm is having, or one of the remotes is having. So it didn't fix that, and it didn't fix the another issue I should say, that alarm gives me sometimes. The alarm seems to be okay, but there's something else going on there, which I'm not going to go into that, but because that's a whole different issue, but it had nothing to do with this alarm specifically. As far as, you know, just the wiring, you know, that's pretty much what you get. And if you don't have door locks, you're going to need relays for your doors if you're going to add them. And anything else, you're going to need a relay for, whether that be a starter interrupt and a trunk opener. So that's going to add on to what this is. But as you can see, even though this is small, it's still pretty bulky as far as the wire you go. Now if you have something with this remote starter, then, you know, it's going to get even more. Even if you take it out, it's going to be bulkier. And that's the reason I like to go as small, simple as possible. Now, even though I mentioned that I was only using, let's see, 5 wires from this side, you gotta remember, you got a whole bunch of other wires coming out of here. So in total, or just to give you an idea of how many wires I still have to connect, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I still have 11 wires that I'm counting off the, what do you call it, the screen here, because I don't want to put everything on here in front of you. But I still have 11 wires that need to be connected. Wait, 11, 12, 13, I forgot 2 more wires. So I have 13 wires total. So it's still not, even though it's a basic alarm, you still have to connect a few wires, and in this case I have 11. So I want to give you an idea of that, and just kind of actually show you with the alarm working on the desk or the bench, and to show you that it seems to work. And then here's the other remote, so I'm gonna use that. Turn it on, unlock, So that's unlocked, and let's see what else. Panic, I think it's this one, but I gotta. Right now it's going by itself because some of the stuff I don't think is connected. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So let me see here. That's not a sensor, that's just a shock sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and arm it. And right now I don't have a lot of the wires connected, so it shouldn't be doing anything else. But I'm getting interference here, and I'm getting a beep. That's coming from my speakers actually, so that's just interference, I believe, that I'm getting here. And because I touched it, that's why I got that. So as you can see, when you see that LED, and I hit it this way so it doesn't trip it, so I can just get the green LED, which is the first stage. Now if it gets smooth, let me see here. So assuming this is this way, and it goes on. Alright, so I think I went over what I need to go on here. I mean, I just wanted to kind of, seems to work fairly quickly, so you know, it's hard to really tell exactly how it's gonna feel until you actually install it in the car. But as you can see, doing this on the bench again, it's kind of what you want to try and do, and that way you don't have too much of a mess of wire. That way, if you have anything that's too short and you already have it at least fairly clean up from the brain side of things, and then just extend it or shorten it however you want. But that's the Encore E4 for you. So I hope that was helpful to you.